I have been really fortunate in my life to be surrounded by a ton of influential and inspiring women. But I would have to say, probably the most influential, as cliche as it's going to sound, would have to be my mom. My mom is the best. She is a scientist, she's an engineer. And growing up, there was never anything my sister and I couldn't do. She has always encouraged any, interests that we've ever had, whether it be art or science. And I think that's a big reason why, both my sister and I have ended up in the science and technology field. It's because of our mom, and there was never anything that we couldn't do. There was no dream too big because she always encouraged us to reach for whatever dream we had. And that's why she still, to this day, is one of my biggest influences. And I can't imagine ending up in the career that I've ended up in without her. I think the way we work together to impact positive change is really twofold. There's the work that we do on ourselves, and then there's the work that we do in our community. So, for the work that we do on ourselves, that's really diversifying the people that we're around, the content that we're consuming. Maybe that's going to workshops to look at maybe implicit biases, things like that. One thing that I'm doing this year is that I'm a really big reader. So I am actively working on the books that I read this year, diversifying the authors that those are written by, really to just kind of gain new perspective and to just, diversify my little bit of the world. And then there's the work that we do together. Everybody has a unique perspective, and it's one of our jobs, I think, to really take the voices, especially those from marginalized communities, and use our influence and our network to uplift those voices and let them be heard. I have three bits of advice that I would give the next generation as they begin their careers. First, ask more questions. Nobody is expecting you to be an expert at this point in your lives. So ask the questions, even if sometimes they seem a little dumb or a little repetitive. It's better to ask and get the right answer than to just assume. When I first started my career, I literally would take pages of questions from, or pages of notes from meetings that I was in, and I would research them or I would ask my boss so that I knew the next time I was in that situation what the answer would be. My next bit of advice is don't compare your journey to everybody else's. You are on your own path, your career is your own, and, comparison really is the thief of joy. And as soon as I learned that in my career and in my life, I started making, leaps and bounds in my career because my path isn't everybody else's and neither is yours. So once you kind of accept that and embrace it, you're going to have a lot more fun along the way. And then my last bit of advice is know that you belong there. You were chosen for that position or for that role for a reason, and you belong to be in that room with everybody else. Your voice and your perspective is just as important and influential as everybody else's.